Rwanda, a country of 1,000 hills, has an area of 26,338 square kilometers. It has an altitude ranging between 900 meters and 4,507 meters above sea level. An estimated 90% of her population depend on subsistence agriculture. On national level, climate change has had serious impacts, agriculture being the most affected sector. It is true we take different daily weather forecasts from temperatures to winds, clouds and air pressure among other weather conditions. We notice changes during daily analysis of data collected, but there have been evident variations, mostly in temperatures and rainfall conditions. Usually we have 2 wet seasons in a year. Currently, the season is increasingly becoming unpredictable. The rains come earlier than the usual timing and end early or end late. There have been significant impacts of climate change, leading to extreme wealth-like phenomena such as landslides. Rwanda's National Adaptation Program of Action (NAPA), published in 2007, highlighted several impacts climate change has had on Rwanda. And these include flooding, drought and low flows, landslides, heavy rainfall, extreme temperatures, and heat waves. The report revealed that such effects bring about low agricultural productivity, water shortage in groundwater, flooding, and drop-off in general agricultural output. The study also showed that there are some activities that can be employed in climate mitigation and adaptation, namely freshwater distribution and management, establishment of early detection mechanisms of climate variations and responsive actions, increasing production generating activities, increasing agricultural productivity, and promotion of weather-resistant crops. Coming on the back of NAPA's study projects like African Adaptation Program AAP and Least Developed Countries Fund LDCF, committed to supporting Rwanda to help her citizens in climate change mitigation and adaptation. In partnership with Rwanda Environment Management Authority, 10 pilot districts were selected. AAP, expected to wind up in 2012, will be operational in Kayonza, Kirehe, Gatsibo, Nyamagabe, Bugesera and Rulindo districts, whereas activities to be supported by LDCF will be operated in Nyabihu, Rutsiro, Rubavu and Ngororo districts and will conclude in 2014. But which criteria were considered in choosing these districts?
We took 4 districts from the eastern province experiencing low precipitation. They are Bugesera, Kirehe, Kayonza and Gatsibo districts, to see how we can help citizens in those areas grow crops commensurate to the low rainfall received in those parts. The 4 other districts were those experiencing high precipitation. They are Nyabihu, Ngororero, Rubavu and Rutsiro. They were also chosen because they have high altitudes. Because of predominance of agricultural activities in those districts, heavy rains cause soil erosion and mudslides which at times lead to deaths. We also selected 2 other districts, one from the southern province which is in Nyamagabe, known to have acidic soils, but it was realized that if farmers are helped by their local leaders, they increase productivity. The second one is Rulindo, known for soil erosion. But it will also help us to come up with a reliable report on districts with high rainfalls and low rainfalls and those with average rains. They will also aid us in knowing their climatic changes. One project was financed by Japan through United Nations Development Programme (UNDP). The project will help us in policy making and acquiring equipment. The other project is being supported by Global Environment Facility (GEF), an independent financial organization which provides grants to developing countries and countries with economies in transition for projects related to biodiversity and climate change. They will help us as a country to detect weather changes, but we also want to manage our welfare basing on practical things. The project helps us to work, purchase equipment, and train Rwandans on how to operate them. We work with schools and non-governmental organizations and NGOs. After putting statistics together and information, we will be able to have a reliable weather forecast.
Rwanda Agriculture Board (RAB) will head technical services in the implementation of the project activities. A team of experts from RAB's different departments and from REMA toured the 10 districts on different occasions to come up with a common recommendation on what activity can be done best in each district with the aim of improving their welfare and also for mitigation and adaptation purposes.
Hari ibice bibiri, hari igice kimwe cyo kuvuga ngo imihindagurikire y'ikirere yarabaye.
There is climate change, adaptation and mitigation approaches. The first one being how we can adjust to the new climate changes, and the second one is about what we can do to lessen the impact of climate change. We are currently applying both approaches mainly in the Eastern Province in 4 districts. In mitigating, we project to carry out many activities, including planting trees and cutting progressive terraces to control soil erosion. In environmental conservation, here I can tell you that it will be preserved because climate change affects ecology system in general by reducing the number of flora and fauna species. Secondly, we are faced with poverty. Here, a resident may say, I'm not gaining anything from conserving the environment, yet I am dying of poverty. That is the reason why the project will help them plant highly productive crops on fertile selected pieces of plots. However small it may be, we shall also pay the residents who carry out the project activities during implementation so that they as well earn income to improve their livelihood. Selection and approval was based on 3 modalities. Discussions with local leaders on general outlook of the area's climate change and priority suitable projects. Touring the districts and analyzing the topographic nature and activities that can be best carried out with the help of Geographic Information System (GIS). Discussions with local people about effects of climate change and activities they would desire to be helped into in order to be better placed to mitigate it while transforming their living conditions. Every resident was given a chance in the district to give his or her take on impact of climate change in their respective districts and the kind of activities she or he thinks would work best to mitigate climate change. Farmers here don't get water, not even water for home consumption. For example, last year, we used to walk for long distances to water points. Because of many people here, we fight for the one tap water source that the government gave us. This year, water shortage was not a big problem because we experienced some rains, but during the dry seasons, it becomes a big problem. Where do you get water for your animals during dry seasons? We go to Munini and Rwagitima, that is where we fetch it, but there are always long queues. How long is the distance from the grazing fields to Munini where you get water for your animals? There are 11 kilometers. It takes us 4 hours to get there. Sometimes our animals die along the way. Water scarcity is the real challenge for us. Why did you choose the dam project among others? When this dam is filled, there is scramble for water between the residents and animals. We are optimistic that agriculture will be scaled up because animals will be drinking at near dams and will help the locals to get water. Besides the local people, district mayors too make their contributions on identifying ideas on what could be done to mitigate and adapt to climate change. It is evident that districts in the northern province have common impacts of climate change, which are soil erosion, floods and landslides. Proper land management and planting forests will be priority activities in districts in northern and eastern provinces. The hardest part I see here is soil. Here I want to talk about terraces. We have good forest covers, but they are wrongfully placed. it would be best if they are transplanted to areas suitable for forests. Another thing, we have mature and old-growth forests, which have been here for over 70 years. Such forests must be replaced with young ones. Eastern Province districts are experiencing deforestation for fuel, which has led to a desert-like situation in the districts. The districts will see forest conservation and soil fertility restoration activities conducted there in a move aimed at mitigating impacts of climate change. Normally in Kirehe district, as it is apparent, has large landscape which were meant for forest canopy, but until now they haven't been forested, and this is the reason why the district is badly affected by dry seasons. For example, all other parts of the country have been experiencing rains for 3 weeks, but not even a drop here in Kirehe. This is evidence enough that Kirehe district doesn't have enough forest covers to converge rain. In the southern part of the country, Nyamagabe district was selected. Landslides have taken a toll on it to the extent of claiming lives. As regards to climate change in Nyamagabe, not all parts of the district has been hit, but the impacts are more evident in Wamane sector in these years 2010 and 2011. For instance, in 2010, a mountain crumbled, burying people. This year, 2011, still in Wamane, strong winds destroyed school buildings. Though other sectors might be experiencing other climate change effects, are not very bad like in Wamane. Nyabihu district in the Western Province is made of high mountains, forests with no vegetation, which always give way to soil erosion, leading to siltation of rivers and lakes. Human activities have also destroyed Karago Lake, where mountains are graded to give way for road construction. Activities to fight against soil erosion and preservation of Karago lakes have been prioritized in Nyabihu district. They will be supported by LDCF project. Human activities take top spot in degrading the environment in Ngororero district. Soil erosion control activities and growing of fruits were singled out as basic necessaries in transforming the lives of the residents of the district and to mitigate climate change. Other activities will include conservation of riverbanks, planting water entrapment trees, and teaching the local people to change their mindset. All the activities in Ngororero district will be financed by LDCF project. Rubavu district too has high mountains and heavy rains and experiences poor management of soils. It gives room to soil erosion, washing away the soil's fertility. Trees will be mixed with selected crops to stop soil from washing away and ensure food security while boosting the economy. All these activities will be supported by LDCF project. Rutsiro district is found in the Western Province. It is usually hit by soil erosion because of the degrading of forest canopy, mostly in Gishwati forest. Mixing crops with forestry, building crop granaries and milk collection centers are some of the activities that will improve the livelihood of Rutsiro district residents now that families which were evacuated from Gishwati forest, where they had grown Irish potatoes, have been resettled in Bitenga village. Some families which were relocated from Gishwati to Bitenga with no capacity to raise animals will be given breeded cows in a bid to elevate their welfare. The activities will also be supported by LDCF project. Nyamagabe is one of the 8 districts making up the Southern Province. It is best known for acidic soils, rendering them unsuitable for farming. Impacts of climate change are more pronounced in Wamane sector, where landslides claimed lives. In Nyamagabe district, soil catchment forest planting project and planting trees seedlings mixed with crops were chosen in an effort to mitigate climate change. Rwanda River will be conserved. African Adaptation Program will support the activities. Bugesera district in the Eastern Province was mostly hit by drought in the 90s, caused by damaging of environment. The residents have since evacuated the areas. Following increased forest planting in Gweru sector, the sector was chosen because of harsh effects of climate change in the sector. Gweru sector, however, has a particularity. It borders with Burundi. Measures on forest conservation adopted in the other side of Burundi differ from those taken in Rwanda. This increases the risk of experiencing impacts of climate change. Coming on the back of this reality, tree planting mixed with crops and horticulture is point of focus to increase productivity and moisture in the air. Activities in Bugesera districts aimed at mitigating climate change will be supported by African Adaptation Program. Kayonza district is in the Eastern Province. Ndego sector is one of the sectors selected where climate change mitigation activities will be conducted. The sector is also faced with long dry seasons and drought, paralyzing agricultural activities. Projects selected in that sector include irrigation, which was marked out to help farmers irrigate their crops. AAP project will finance all climate change mitigation in Ndego sector, Kayonza district. Gatsibo district is situated in the Eastern Province. It neighbors Akagera National Park. Just like other districts in the province, it normally experiences high temperatures. The biggest challenge is death of animal stocks, yet it largely depends on agriculture. AAP project supporting activities in the district picked preparation water dams to help farmers water their animals as the principal activity to be carried out in Gatsibo district. Kirehe is one of the districts making up the Eastern Province. Generally, this district is also faced with drought periods, bare lands of which some are unfavorable for agriculture. However, Kirehe has a lot of lakes. Preservation of lake shores and riverbanks and reservoirs, planting tree seedlings and forests on mountain and hills were the activities preferred for Kirehe district and hoped for transforming the lives of the local people. African Adaptation Program will support these endeavors. Rulindo is one of the districts that make up the Northern Province. It is a hilly part of the country and has had its share of climate change such as floods and soil erosion. Activities that have been listed in Rulindo, namely forest and land rejuvenation, will be supported by African Adaptation Program. All the activities will be carried out in a span of 2 to 4 years, as positive impacts are expected to be recorded home on the lives of the population. The beneficiaries are requested to own these activities and take good care of them once the projects wind up, while making the most out of them. The reason being that the training phase of the beneficiaries has been provided for in this project. We asked the residents to own these dams and take good care of them, because through the partnership with Rwanda Agricultural Board (RAB), because it is in charge of working with local people and helping district mayors to implement their performance contracts, we signed with it a memorandum of understanding. We also took them to projects' proposed operational areas to show them how the projects will be implemented and after work with the local people. Working with the local people means that if they want to establish a nursery bed, they will have to talk to the people and the people themselves set up those nurseries. The locals will be paid for their service of constructing the nurseries. Nursery beds will be built based on the plan study conducted by Rwanda Agricultural Board. The residents will be educated about the activities for sustainability and will be monitored by RAB. So because the residents had a role in the implementation, they earned money and they will be carrying out the same activities in their own activities. They analyzed adaptation activities in areas most prone to soil erosion by controlling water that erodes soil, but also considering activities that are beneficial to the local people. For instance, planting trees mixed with crops in farmlands. The trees or vegetation will retain water flowing downstream from hills. The residents will be in a better position to apply such activities and will promote their economic stand because they will be as well feeding their animals on that vegetation.
no kugira ngo bongere ubukungu bwabo ko bizaba biribwa n'amatungo yabo.
For a period of 4 years, annual reports will be compiled on accomplishment and impacts the project's activities have on local people's livelihood in all the 10 pilot districts.